off with some terminology. Merit and need, loans, grants, and scholarships. There's probably some other terms, but these are the main three that you need.
Oh, we knew life would be alright, but who could have known it'd be this good? Oh, Lord.
So now let's practice and look at a couple example financial aid letter awards and see what we can understand from it, and see if we can figure out how much they're really paying, how much they don't have to pay, and things like that. Yeah. I'm gonna put what I'm viewing up on the board, and if you think you're already a pro in financial aid and everything, feel free to pause this and just look at it yourself and be like, they're doing this, they're getting this, and blah 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 blah, and see if you're right. Okay, so this first financial aid award is an example from UW-Madison, and first thing we see here is cost of attendance. So cost of attendance, we see that they have estimated direct costs and estimated indirect costs. What does this mean? Our direct costs are the hard numbers, your tuition, your housing and meals. They already know around how much that's going to cost. So those are direct costs because you're directly paying towards your education, towards your food, and towards your housing. So those are more set in stone numbers. They're numbers that you're likely going to have to pay and things like that. Estimated additional expenses, or otherwise known as indirect cost, are things like your books, your transportation, your personal. These are not things that you have to pay to the school. I repeat, these are not things you have to pay to the school. What the school is doing here is that they're estimating how much you're going to spend on traveling to get to the school, how much you're going to spend on paying for books and paying for your dorm and cute dorm stuff. And so if you're out of state, you might see that your transportation cost estimation goes up because now you have to pay for a flight, or now you have to pay for a really long car ride and stuff like that. So yeah. So we see that they broke it up between the fall and the spring, and they gave you the total amount that you're gonna probably have to pay or spend during 1 year at UW-Madison, which is $28,000. Now we see that they gave you your estimated financial aid offer, and they gave you a lot of different types of financial aid. So you have grants and scholarships, and you have student loans. Grants and scholarships, you see next to it, it says automatically accepted, not repaid, because they're free money, like we said. So they're giving you a UW-Madison resident grant, which might mean that this is a grant that they give to people who live in, where is University of Wisconsin? Oh, in Wisconsin-Madison, right? Or Madison, Wisconsin, something like that. So if you live in Wisconsin-Madison, then this might be a grant that they give to everyone. It's $2,000, doesn't change, and they give it to you every quarter. And now they also give you a tuition promise. Now let's go to the estimated net cost. And what they mean by this is saying that after we've told you how much you need to pay, and then we've told you how much we're going to give you for free, this is what you still have left to somehow figure out how you're going to pay. Total amount of grants that they gave you were $10,998. What you still have left to figure out how you're going to pay somehow is $17,000. So you still have to figure out how you're going to pay $17,000. So they're saying maybe you can do student loans. And if you wanted to do student loans, what we'll give you a subsidized loan of $1,500-ish, and we'll give you an unsubsidized loan of $4,000 to kind of fill in the gap. So as you guys can see, they gave you way much more. They gave you way more unsubsidized loans than subsidized loans, because subsidized loans are better. That's what we like. Unsubsidized loans are the ones that you have to pay back interest right away, but they can give you more of it if you need it. So what can we see from this financial aid award letter? One, what we can see is that they still have so much money to pay back. At the bottom, it says the cost of attendance minus the grants, minus the scholarships, and the loans that you still have to pay back. You still have to pay back what they said, $11,000. So that's very scary. But if you are someone who can afford that, if $11,000 a year is not that bad, this might be a really great offer for you. Just to clarify, on top of the $11,000, they are the ones that are still gonna have to pay back the loans. So it's $11,000 plus around $5,000 in loans, and those loans usually never stay at $5,000 because they're gaining interest. So this person is actually paying around $17,000 for their education a year. Another thing we can notice is that the amount of grants that they're giving them is the same amount of the tuition that they're giving them. So basically, technically, they do have a free tuition scholarship. So basically what the school did for this person is that they fully covered their tuition, but with anything else, they have to find some way to pay it or pay it through loans and also finding some way other to pay the rest. But yeah, another thing that we can just kind of see from this award letter is that technically the only money that they really have to look for right now is housing and meals. I believe UW-Madison, I'm not sure if you have to even live on campus, so that might be another way to cut down the cost for housing. But since we know that estimated additional expenses are not things that we're paying directly to the school, and it's just things that we ourselves are spending, we know that we only have to actually figure out how to pay for our housing and meals, which are the direct costs that we're paying to the school. And so we only have to actually figure out how to pay around $12,000, $12,800. And with using the loans, we have $5,400-ish in loans. So 12,000 minus 5,000. So what we're really like the most urgent amount of money that we have to figure out how we're going to get is around $6,000. I hope that makes sense. I hope I was explaining that in a way that like could make sense. But yeah, let's try another one. This website, if you want to see these for yourselves later, I'll put it in the bottom, but there's so many like example financial aid awards, and so that could be good practice for you if you're trying to figure out like what to do and like what this stuff even means. This one is apparently from Whitman College, and this financial aid award, firstly, it starts off with all the options for financial aid that they're giving you, that you have. And we see that there's scholarships, there's grants, there's loans, and there's work study. Very important that I didn't talk about. So work study, we know what all the scholarships and grants and loans are, but what is work study? Work study is another way that a school can, let's say, give you a way to make money. It's a job that you can work usually on campus, but sometimes there's like off-campus opportunities, and basically it's you working a job. But one, it's way easier to get a job because I believe the funding actually comes from like the government, and like the school is working with the federal government to give you the chance to make this amount of money while you're working on campus. So it's way easier to get a job. People love hiring people with federal work study because it's like the easiest way to say, one, I need a job, and two, I have like on my application, I have that I should be able to get a job on campus that will pay me up to this amount or something like that. And two, the money that you get from a federal work study, it doesn't take away from like your scholarships or your grants or anything. Sometimes when you work a job and you're starting to like make money, the school's like, okay, now that you got money, you can pay for your schooling and things like that. So federal work study doesn't do this. Any of the money that you make from the federal work study, you should be able to spend it on whatever you need, spend it on the things we talked about, like the books and like transportation, things like that. It should be going directly to your bank account. And yeah, three, it's just a good way to meet people. You get to work with professors. You can be doing research. You can be just sitting at the library and like watching people swipe their cards in and things like that. But federal work studies are created for students who are in school to just help cover expenses, and the school is going to tell you like, we'll give you a federal work study up to this amount, meaning that you can work and make up to this amount of money, and that's not going to affect any of your financial aid. We're just going to give you the opportunity to work on our campus because we know you need extra money. That's kind of how it works. Another thing is federal work study jobs are like usually really chill. Obviously the school knows that you're still a student, and the school knows that you have a life to live and homework to do. So I know a lot of people might be like, ugh, working while I'm in school, that's too much. But if you need the money, it could be a good way to get the money. And then also, usually the jobs are really easy and don't take too much of your time, or you can like try to find a job where you can do your homework while on the job or something like that. I know my friend who's doing it right now. She works at the library, and literally she works at the library in the morning, and literally like barely anyone's at the library in the morning, so she just does her homework, yeah, and gets paid, period. Scholarships, we see that she has 3 scholarships and a Pell Grant. So in total, we have a lot of free money going to her. If I was her, or if I was this person, I would just make sure that all the scholarships they're giving me do repeat every year, or I'll be able to renew those scholarships for as long as I'm in school. Then we see that they gave her a subsidized loan of $3,500 and an unsubsidized loan of $2,000. So this is really good because they're giving her more subsidized loans than unsubsidized loan. So she's gonna have less money to pay back than someone who just had all unsubsidized loans, or someone who just had like more unsubsidized loans. And then, like we talked about, she's also given the opportunity to work on campus through a federal work study to make up to like $2,500. So they give you a total amount of your financial aid award, $53,000. Now let's see what you're going to spend those $53,000 on. $53,000 minus the $5,500 that you're paying back anyways. But yeah, you can also see here that they say accept or not. And so basically, you have the opportunity to say, yes, I want this loan. Yes, I want this loan. Yes, I want all these scholarships. And yes, I want to do work study. If you have a family member who said they'll pay for your education, then don't take out a loan. Say no to the loans. If you have a job already that you're doing online and you don't actually need work study, just always say yes to work study, to be honest, because saying yes to work study just gives you the opportunity to do work study if you want it. So just always say yes. But if you already have like so many jobs, then maybe say no. But yeah. So let's see. The cost of attendance, we see that in total, they have almost $50,000 for tuition. And in total, their estimated cost of attendance is $63,000. So we see why they were giving a lot of money, because there's a lot of money that they have to pay. We can also see that their EFC, or as we talked about, estimated family contribution for themselves. So the student is making a little bit of money because the school expects the student to pay $2,000 and they expect their parents to pay around $5,000, which is not that much. Some parents are expected to pay way more than that, but this is based on FAFSA. So whatever you fill out on your FAFSA and you submit that, whatever your tax forms say and stuff like that, that's how they generate your parent contribution and student contribution. So we can see that when we're just considering tuition and room and board, the things that they really, really have to pay, it's around, let's see how much that is. What is $49,780 plus $12,524? Okay, that is $62,000. So what they really like directly have to pay to the school for room and board and tuition and other fees is $304. So what we first can see is that all of these loans, all of these scholarships, even if she took the work study and she was working on campus, she would still need to pay some more money, because $53,000 is less than $62,000. That's what we can first see. But for the most part, what the school is doing is they're telling this person that we expect you to pay around $7,000, like out of pocket, out of what you make. And so what you really need to pay is $56,000, because after you pay the money that we expect you to pay, you'll be left with around $56,000 to cover the rest, and we'll give you around $53,000 in awards to help you, but the rest, once again, is on you. So what can we see? We can see that once again, it looks like her tuition is almost fully covered. All the scholarships she's given plus the grant equal $14,000 plus $14,000 plus $11,000 plus $4,000. That equals to around tuition. She's able to cover tuition, I believe. Is she? I can't even tell. $14,000 plus $14,926 plus $11,904 plus $4,770. Okay, so she's not even able to cover tuition. $45,000. They're giving her almost full tuition. They're giving her almost full tuition in grants. But what she really has to figure out how to cover is room and board. But because the school expects her to contribute $7,000, they're really only giving her like $5,000 in loans and like other stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully this was a little helpful. Some other tips is that one, if you have like a low EFC and you literally cannot afford what they're telling you to pay, or just in general, if you're not happy with your financial aid package, you can appeal. What do we mean by appeal? We mean knocking on the financial aid office and being like, hey, I'm broke, I need more money. People do it all the time, and that could be the difference between you taking out so many loans for school and you getting like another scholarship or something like that. So if you need more money, at least try, or as I always say here, shoot your shot and try to ask for more money and see what the school will do. Or you can ask for more work study and less loans. So you can ask them to put more work study, like give you the opportunity to work for more money, and then you can take out less loans. So like tell them to like change the amounts if they can and stuff like that. Another thing with financial aid is just that you do submit your FAFSA and you submit your tax documents every year. So your financial aid is likely to change year by year, depending on maybe your family gets a new job or something like that. So once again, just try to make sure that everything you're getting is gonna work for you year after year. Because you have to submit this every year and don't want to be always freaking out about like how to pay for school and like what's going to go on and like things like that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'm not the smartest on this topic, but I will do my best to ask you. Everything I put in this video, I searched up and I made sure that it was correct information, so you guys can just know what this all like means and stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely comment down below, and I hope you guys are having a great break. I hope you guys are taking a well-deserved break from college applications and all that stuff, because child, it's hard work. But yeah, always remember that as long as you try your best, or as long as you shoot your shot, then that is what matters, that you tried. I'll always say don't reject yourself first before you even like try something. Yeah, leave the rejecting to someone else. Looking forward to reading your guys' comments. Hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you later.